Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new or just clicked on this video, thank you very much. My name is Alexis and this is the Goddess of Daydreams Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a general reading for the collective. I'm going to take a look at the energies the universe wants us to be aware of, to be open for, and cautious of during this time. Well, this is a timeless reading and please take what resonates. And I hope you receive the insight, the answers, and clarity or solutions that you need during this time. We're going to start off with actually pulling maybe one or two means to kind of pick up the overall energies that are coming into the collective or that the collective is dealing with. So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Hold on, a whole bunch of memes just fell out. All right, Spirit, what do you have for the collective? I'm doing memes right now because at the time I'm doing this reading, we're in Aries season and everything is just like kind of putting everyone up against the wall. So I just kind of wanted to switch the energy a bit, make it a little silly, because a little silliness doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. I mean, yeah. Okay. All right, Spirit, what do you have for the collective? All right. Oh, okay. We have this guy again. So I did a previous reading with the meme cards, and this was definitely one of the first cards. So, I'm going to be honest, I'm not surprised to see this screaming kid. That's the energy I feel like we're all kind of pent up or dealing with right now. Just rage. I will pull out one more meme because I know it's more to this. But yeah, I guess a lot of us have been feeling more on the intense side of life. And that's okay because, life is ups and downs, even though we kind of want to get off this roller coaster, but we can't. We gotta just go through it until it's over. All right, Spirit, what do you have for the collective? All right, one more. And okay. So what I'm picking up from these two cards, two stories. One, someone's feelings got hurt, and it's either your feelings or someone else's feelings. And maybe you were trying not to come off in a certain way that made you look like the bad guy, but you had to kind of like tell the truth on something. Or someone had said something really, give me a second. Someone might have said something that struck a nerve in you some time ago, and you're still kind of hurt from it. And even though you're like, I'm just going to let it go, I'm not going to let it bother and linger, it's still bothering and it's still lingering. You kind of want to say something to this person, but either you kind of either keep the peace because you don't want to look crazy like this, and I guess, yeah, like I said, you want to keep the peace, but someone has done a tremendous hurt to you and they need to, it needs to be acknowledged. You cannot keep carrying this pain. And I do feel for a lot of you in the collective, you have, learned to let bygones be bygones. And, not every fight has to be a fight, or like not every argument is a fight. But something was said, and I feel strongly you were extremely disrespected by this person, and you don't want to settle that, or you don't want to settle for it. But either way, somebody here definitely feels disrespected, and they're ready to lash out. Let's go into more details with the Panther Oracle. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Let's get 3 more, Spirit. All right, I'll take that in reverse. I'll let him get two more. Okay, yeah. Interesting. Let me get one more. All right, I'm going to leave this up. All right, let me just take a sip of water and marinate on these cards, because I do sense something malefic going on here. So I'm getting a storyline that somebody is really butthurt, excuse my language. But yeah, someone is really butthurt and they just really want to take it out on you. I feel like this person already has anger issues as it is, and they go target someone in order to lash out or, get their fix of rage in their system for the day. For some reason, someone has decided to target you, and you are going to be, I guess, their trash for their anger. But I see also for a lot of you, you're going to match this person's energy. Anyway, let's jump right into it. First card I have is libation, donation, pray, religion. Okay, so specifically with this card here, I feel a lot of you have triggered somebody over something that you said on social media, especially when it comes to the areas of religion. I feel, for those of us that are in the esoteric and spiritual community, we kind of talk things differently compared to someone that's more fixed on a religious background. And of course, there's going to be certain things that we're going to say that, you know, people of religious backgrounds are not going to, what's the word I was looking for? There's certain things that we say that certain people of religious backgrounds do not agree with. And it just seems that this person is I'm getting like an angry Christian. I'm not signaling out angry Christians or Christianity. There are good Christians out there, but, especially in America, we definitely have a lot of angry Christians. And it seems maybe you had triggered this angry Christian to wanting to argue with you. I feel like this person just wants to find you and fight you. Or it could be the other way around, where someone had wrote to you something very nasty, something very vile on your social media. Maybe for some of you, just like me, you're like a reader. Maybe you promote yoga, um, even like a different way of eating, meditations. Maybe for some of you, you are like a person that talks about crystals or other religious or other religious figures or deities, and someone wrote something really bad, and it definitely quite like got you a little bit in the heart chakra. But I feel like that's sort of I'm getting like spirits telling me like don't focus on that, because right now we're going through turbulent times and people's energies and faiths are being tested. So of course, unfortunately, we're going to be tested on our own faith and our own connection to God and everything. But I'm picking up more heavily on the storyline of you triggering somebody. Now, this doesn't have to only be social media. This could also be maybe you have gone to a church or a place of worship and you decided to speak out on something and people are not agreeing with it. I also, it kind of reminds me actually, like, I remember I was having this conversation with my mother the other day about how I find it very interesting that since the Epstein files came out, I don't really hear a lot of church people, especially pastors, talking about it, especially like talk about it more openly and using it as an example of like, don't do this because this is not in God's plan. Like, don't. But I haven't seen that. But please, whoever is watching this, if you know a pastor or a church that has openly talked about this energy and condemning it, please let me know, because right now I'm like, why are the churches quiet? Your quiet is making the suspicion louder. So it can also be a place where you work. I feel like you might have had a conversation with somebody some time ago and someone overheard you, and now they got a negative look to you because, you probably eat pork, or you what's it called? Yeah, maybe for some of you, you eat pork. Maybe for some of you, you decided to put a Buddha on your desk. Maybe for some of you, you decided to, I don't know, wear certain jewelry now. Whoever it is eavesdropping, they are triggered by your changes, or they have been triggered by your changes for a while. Next, I have is imagination. Variety, fantasy, mind, but it's in the reverse. This person does not want to think outside the box. They're extremely ignorant. They believe things need to be done and done a certain way. Rules need to be abide by this way, and it's basically like it's in the listen to the Bible. It's in the Bible. The Bible. The Bible. The Bible. Like everything is in the Bible. The answers. And don't get me wrong. The Bible does give good answers, especially when you read the Psalms. They're good. But there's some things in the Bible that you're just like, okay, this was definitely influenced by the ego of man. So I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. But this person, again, only fixated on what they know from the Bible or from the church. They're just like, the life got to be this way. It is what it is. They don't want to think about like maybe there's something more to Christianity. Maybe Christianity is just a branch of the bigger tree that we're all a part of. But with the imagination in the reverse, they're definitely not thinking that way. I do sense for some of you in the collective, maybe you might have tried to talk to this person in a way to kind of open up their mind or get them to question things. But when you start introducing questions to certain people, they take it as a threat, unfortunately. Now, next I have is accident. Danger, caution, injury. A lot of you need to be careful outside right now, especially at the time that I'm doing this. We're in Aries season. Again, energies are going to be elevated. People are really like pissed off. And basically, it's like anyone is ready to be like, I'm ready to throw down. Go ahead and try me. See, I'm gonna send you to the pearly gates. That kind of energy. Now, unfortunately, with this person, that they have been triggered so deeply by your words or by your action, or maybe for some of you, just by your presence alone, they feel like they're going to have to do something and take the law into their own hands. They are going to justify hurting you by saying, like, oh, God told me to do this, or in the Bible, it said we can do this. Like, they will use the Bible to justify whatever vile actions or plans that they have for you or for others. Because I do sense that this person wants to make a bigger, like, group attack. Like, ooh, okay. Spirit is telling me, like, this is kind of like the energy of like a witch hunt or like a witch trial. Maybe, okay, I see. I think for a lot of you guys, you are being accused of being a witch. And I feel like this person is trying to rile up a lot of people to come after you. And with this accident card here, you need to take this seriously. So if you're someone, of course, take what resonates. But if you're someone that has dealt with being called a witch, especially by church people or people of like other religious backgrounds, I see that they're keeping an eye on you. They feel like they're gonna want to make you into an example of what happens when you don't listen to God or when you don't follow the Bible. So I'm being super serious about this because I really don't like this accident card being here, and given like the time frame that we are in right now. Again, people will do any little tug, any little push, it's gonna set people off. Excuse me. But yeah, I am picking up a bigger energy of like those of you that have been called maybe heretic, witch, Satanist, whatever the label is. They're gonna use that label to try to come and hurt you. Sorry, had to take some water in. The thing is, this person knows that what they're thinking and what they're plotting and planning is bad, but they're going to use their ego to justify whatever plans and actions that they want to take out. However, last I have is good news, encouragement, miracle, surprise. I feel for a lot of you in the collective, you are actually going to show these people a miracle, or you're going to show them some type of supernatural or like a supernatural phenomenon. They're going to witness something that is going to either change their mind for the better or they're going to change their mind for the worse. I feel for a lot of you, it's like, and this is not something that you're going to go and like show. I feel like for a lot of you, you're just going to be minding your business throughout the day, doing your errands or whatever you're doing. Somebody is definitely going to be keeping an eye on you, and they're going to see something that either wows them or like gets them enraged. But they're going to see that you hold a special power. Maybe for some of you, you might end up doing some type of charity work, or some type of coincidence happens where you get to show your energy. Maybe for some of you, like if you're a reader and you had given someone certain insight or a reading and it happened, somebody in that group or in that church group or whatever group that's trying to go after you is going to witness that. And I do sense that when this miracle happens, you're going to make people question. So I do like that this good news is here at the end, because and at the end of the day, God will use you to either humble these people or to show them, like, no, this person is of light, this person is of grace. You need to back off. But yeah, I do feel with this good news, God is going to use you to show the non believers or the angry crowd that you are a divine person and that you are of light. Let's go into more detail with some tarot. Oh, really? Okay. So we have water and we have pentacles. So you could be a Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn, or you could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. You could have these energies in your chart, or you know one of these signs. Now, oh my God, if you hear barking, that's one of my neighbors. So, under libation, I have the Queen of Cups here. So now I'm picking up a little bit more specific details. So I sense there's a woman in a church group or that leads the church. She seems like it seems like she's used to people coming to her for spiritual insight. I see that she probably leads a lot of groups like Bible studies or something like that. And she is kind of like depicted like, a holy spiritual woman, not a spiritual woman, but more like a holy religious woman. Let's go with that. Like she definitely has an image. Give me a second. I'm picking up something really. Because I'm looking at this Queen of Cups. And usually the Queen of Cups is caring, sweet, sometimes romantic. But this person is the opposite. Ooh, Spirit tells me that she feeds off of hate. She feeds off of hate, especially hate from others. I would not be surprised if some of you feel like a certain church woman has decided to target you because she has. She sees you as like the next treat for herself or something. Now, for some of you, that's a little bit outside of the religious and more into the esoteric. I do sense that for some of you, you may have walked away from a coven, or you were unaware that you were dealing with someone from a coven and they seem to not take a liking to you or your energy, or there is a jealousy of your energy and they definitely want to target you. I feel like for some of you, if you were introduced to this coven and you decided to walk away, they were like, oh no, we're not going to let this person walk away. They're going to be with us one way or another. And whoever this woman is, she's definitely trying to lead everyone else to target you and try to go after you. So again, take what resonates. But I do feel for a lot of, a good chunk of you in the collective, either a religious church woman has targeted you, or some type of, not some type of, but a leader of a coven has also targeted you. Now, next with imagination. In the reverse, I have the Nine of Pentacles. This person thrives off of the hate and the negativity. Like I was saying before, they thrive off of other people's anger. She knows, or he knows, but I'm sensing more of a she. She knows that if I dumb down and keep people angry and in distress, I have control of whatever I want or whatever I need. Like, I feel for some of you, probably have witnessed this in the church, where some pastor or the pastor's wife, they're busy talking down at somebody or talking down at an idea, and then after that they go to be like, all right, now let us collect some money for the church. Very heavy on the collection plate I'm picking up here. It's like the more angry these people are, the more generous the collection plate becomes. It's like, yeah, basically your anger turns into their profit. And a lot of you caught that. Maybe for some of you, when you have decided to attend church or something, you had probably likely speaked out about like, hey, you're busy taking money from people who are, like, first of all, like in the state of my country, the US, like we are busy struggling, paying bills, paying mortgages, trying to get real food on the table. And a lot of these church people are very like, well, God bless me, so that's what I'm doing with this, I don't know, $2 million watch or something. I do sense that a lot of you did call out certain pastors or certain church people, that they're like, you're busy benefiting off of people's struggles. You're using their prayer, their hope, to make your pockets deep. And they definitely took a disliking to you. Now, for some of you out, if it's not religious, I do sense that you have. Oh, okay. Thank you, Spirit. So, Spirit just told me that maybe for some of you in social media, you have called out certain either readers or gurus or people that think they're selling spirituality or calling them out for selling spirituality. You can kind of tell when someone is genuine and someone is being a grifter. And we have definitely gotten a couple of grifters, especially like personally for me, if you're a person of spirituality and then you just decide to become Christian, first of all, good for you. That's totally fine, because not everyone is meant to be on this path. So as long as you respect that, um, all is good and all is fair. But I do sense that there's some people that go jump into Christianity, bash what they were doing, and then ask for money, like, help me start my Bible business or whatever the case is. That this person, there's people that grift heavily in the spiritual community, unfortunately, and it makes us look, a certain way. But I do see that a lot of you did called out or probably wrote saying like, oh, you don't know what you're saying. Like, oh, okay. Like, okay. So one person comes to mind. I forgot her name, but she does like, I guess it's not like a comedy stand up, but she does like a show. It's this Indian woman. I'm pretty sure maybe some of you might have seen her videos, but she talks about Kali a lot, and specifically when certain groups of women go and talk about Kali in a certain way that she knows in her background, in her culture, Kali would not act that way. So in her like debut or whatever show that she gives, she talks about how basically the Western culture takes Kali and puts her in a very limited space. That's her calling that out. Maybe for you guys, you're busy doing these things and calling out other like fake practitioners or fake readers, whoever it is. They're not being genuine and you're calling them out. It looks like you might have pissed a couple of them off because they want your head for some reason. I mean, yeah, you're busy exposing them. But I would say personally, continue to expose them. It doesn't matter if their feelings are hurt or they get angry. What you're doing is wrong. You are using the energy of God and spirituality for something for you to you're no different than a pastor with a $2 million watch. You are busy using people's hope and divine energy for your own gains. You are crossing the lines, especially if you know that you yourself don't believe in it. Next, with accident, I have the high priestess here. So I find this very funny, specifically for the church woman here, that it looks like she has decided to dabble in some dark magic. And basically, if she does not like you or how you dress or you didn't give enough in the collection plate, she will try to send some type of punishment to you. This is very, very specific. I'm giving to. I'm like that sharing. Sorry. It's like in my head, I just keep seeing like an older woman, very nicely dressed, because of the church's money. She is doing some type of spell work on a table that either someone didn't give enough to the church, someone didn't dress appropriately, someone didn't agree with her. Whatever the case is, she's busy punishing a person. I see her writing names on a paper, but I don't know what else she's going to do with that. But she got names. So if you sense that, like, you could be one of those names that she's writing, protect your energy. But yes, so this church woman is definitely dabbling into the dark magic. She is like, I'm going to control this person one way or another. And then for some of you, if this is a coven leader, they're busy getting into their crafts to cause some type of accident towards you. So be mindful, especially for those of you that have a vehicle or some type of um, item of transportation, like a scooter or a motorbike. Be very mindful and be very careful, because they will do some type of energy work to make you have a crash or make you have an accident. There's also, so specifically, I've seen this before. If some of you are driving to a certain area, like if you're driving down a road that you're used to going and you see something off, you might want to change. If you see or sense something off, you might want to change directions when driving. There was a video I've seen that this woman, her name was Stephanie something, but she talks definitely highly about the Bible, but I like to listen to her. But she was showing how someone had tied a bunch of like stuff onto a tree, and that was to cause a car crash in that area. Now if you approach a tree and there's like stuff tied to it, leave it alone. Do not touch it unless you are a professional in removing these type of energies. I would recommend not touching it. Be aware of it and change directions when you're either leaving home or going home. Now, aside from that, if you don't have any vehicles or whatever, still be careful traveling, because again, they're looking to cause an accident and to cause harm to you. Now, last with good news, I have the Two of Pentacles here. So this is kind of like the mixed reaction energy that I'm sensing that is going to happen when people witness your energy or your miracle, your phenomenon. There's going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, wait, no, this is a good person. Like, why are we attacking them for? And then some people are going to be like, nope, she or he is definitely of the devil. We're going to have to double down. But yeah, it's definitely going to cause like a split. Whatever you are going to do, it's definitely going to bring a lot of attention to you. And I would say in some places it's going to clear up your name, and with some people it's just going to like solidify, like, nope, that's the devil, and and reincarnated. We need to get rid of them. I do want to pull an extra card with this Two of Pentacles though. I would still take it as a win, because, give me a second. I will take it as a win because at least you have opened your eyes. I mean, you have opened the eyes of others to realize, like, oh, maybe there is a little bit something more outside of Christianity or Judaism or whatever the case is. You're definitely going to start expanding minds. But, for others, it's going to be like, nope, I choose to be ignorant. Ignorance it is. So, with the Two of Pentacles, I have the Two of Cups. So, we got two twos going on here. I do like this energy, though, because as you are, it might be intentionally or unintentionally that you are busy showing your energies, or God just decides to put you in the right moment, in the right place, at the right time, doing the right energy work, whatever the case is. I'm going to start building connections. I do also see that for some of you, you're going to be inspiring people to, go on their own spiritual journey, start researching and looking up things, or even speaking out against those who use either religion or spirituality to grift others. So I do see that kind of positive outcome coming in, you will definitely start building numbers. And I believe that is what God wants you to do. Just be yourself, do what you do. And, for some, is they're going to see what you do as a miracle. And unfortunately, some people are going to see it as demonic work, or whatever the hell they want to call it. Excuse me. Hmm. I kind of want to pull one more card with this whole situation. Anything else, Spirit, that the collective needs to know? Okay, well, so for some reason, I got this King of Wands, and one of the big things that screamed into my head was, you need to watch out for the pastor. The pastor has an eye on you, and it's more of an eye of lust, not an eye of of good intention. There's a pastor here that knows you are very powerful, and they definitely want to get up all up in your pants. So please be mindful of that. I also sense that for a lot of you, you are also developing a lot of leadership skills with this situation. Like, you are going to be showing people like where you stand, especially when it comes to your morals and to your practices. And you're not here to impress anyone. You're not here to you're not here to like impress anyone. You're just here to be you, do you, and do the right thing. But I do see with this King of Wands, you are inspiring people to do the right thing. Now, with that said, let's wrap up this reading with some final messages from the Clo. Let's see what the Clo has to say about this mess. But yeah, one of the big energies it just said in my head was like, God, expect God to use you to reveal certain energies, not only about yourself, but about others. Don't worry, God is going to use you for the right things or for the right reasons. Like, I don't know why I'm laughing, like, because it's like, I myself will not want to go against a group of church people, but if God has to use me to reveal a truth or to reveal certain schemes and dark energies, then so be it. And I guess that's what God is going to be using a lot of you to do, to reveal truths, to reveal lies, to reveal schemes and the plans of the enemy. So, first clue I have is the wood. So, focus on strengthening and protecting your root chakra. I'm also kind of getting like a lot of lower chakra energies. Be mindful of that. I do see that some people will do some type of energy work on your lower chakras. Make sure that I'm getting like a lot of you, if you are like heavy tea drinkers, you might want to switch up your tea intake and go for teas that help with the lower chakra. So dandelion, what's the other one I'm looking in my head at? Rhubarb, ginseng. Oh, very strong with the ginseng. If you're someone that's like, especially that you need a little bit of pep, I highly recommend ginseng. But do what's best for you. I also sense with the wood, definitely burn some sage, burn some Palo Santos, burn whatever resins or incense that you have, because it's going to help dissipate whatever energy or evil eyes or monitoring spirits that these people are sending you. And then last I have is the create. I actually like this energy here because the one of the big messages I got was, you are going to be creating a lot of solutions. You're going to be creating a lot of paths. You're also going to be creating a lot of new leaders that are going to be looking up to you. Now, it doesn't mean like everyone's going to be like a leader of their pack or whatever. No, like more like leaders leading their own life. Again, you're inspiring others to live an authentic and truthful life. Excuse me. Mhm. So, Spirit is telling me specifically for some of you, if you have a grimoire or a book of spells, to create a grimoire or a book of spells specifically for protection. Because, especially with these energies happening, and I don't really see certain things are kind of going to get lightened up for a while, you need to make sure that your arsenal of protection is ready and secure. Be careful, like, don't even bring this book in public. This is a book that you need to have in your house, out of sight. One more minute. Hmm. Oh, okay. Spirit is telling me that, because I'm looking specifically at the book, someone wow, someone got triggered because I can't even get out of my throat. Excuse me. Some one of these people in the church that doesn't like you, they're gonna give you a Bible, but this Bible is tainted with something. So be mindful accepting certain Bibles or certain books by certain people, because they will definitely use the Bible to put some type of trap or some type of hex on you. I guess at the moment you could be like, okay, yeah, great, thanks. But at least don't bring it into your house, because this is some type of curse energy that they are willing to implant in your home. Of course, take what resonates. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please give it a like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more insight and messages. I would truly appreciate it, and it will give tremendous support to my channel. And thank you to the new and current viewers and subscribers for coming back to my channel to hear my messages. I hope my reading has given you the insight, answers, and clarity that you need. And if you feel that this reading did not resonate, no worries. Feel free to check out the other readings on my channel. There's definitely a message there for you. All right, my collective, we're dealing with a lot, but something that is not gonna uh, take you down. I know it is unfair, because it's like, who are these people to think like I'm evil because I have a rose quartz in my purse, or I have cards in my hand, or whatever the case is. I know it feels very disrespectful, and you're like, I'm just minding my business, but unfortunately, people are going to see you as a threat. I mean, that's always been kind of like that since the dawn of time. Minding your business, and for some reason, someone is going to see you as a threat. But how you handle it is going to be up to you. Definitely, I would not recommend doing any type of black magic against any of these people. You're just going to feed into their fears and ignorances. But if you go by your principles, by your morals, and by your light and truth, and you being your authentic self, some of these people are gonna definitely take a step back, or they're gonna try to regulate other people from the church or the coven. Like, don't mess with that one. They're more stronger than we think. So definitely some people are gonna back off. But continue to live your life. Continue to live in your truth. Please be careful with the travels. I'm highly stressing in that, because someone is willing to hurt or do more to you or to even your family, just so that they can feel right, or they can feel justified in their actions and behavior. But my collective, I will not worry too much about it. Be cautious, but don't worry too much about it, because you are more powerful than these pastors, than powerful than these coven leaders, because you live in your truth and you live in light. And with that said, stay safe and have a good day.